Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 8 in my 12 days of Craftmas series. In today's video, we're going to be making a mug with infusible ink and sublimating a frosted glass. So let's get into the video. Starting here in Design Space, I am going to go up to My Stuff, click on New Collection. This is where I have the mug design set up bookmarked, so I'm going to click on that. Then come here to the drop-down box and select Small Straight Edge, and then click Customize. And here is my mug template. From here, I want to go to Images, go to the search box, click on Christmas Seamless, and I'm going to scroll down, and I want to add this image to my canvas. I'm going to resize it, so I want to unlock, move it over here, and I'm going to resize it so it all fits into this turquoise area of the template. So now it fits. I'm going to come over to the right panel and hide the design guide. And this is ready to be cut on my infusible ink sheet. And I also want to add in the design for my frosted mug. And I'm going to right click because I have it already ready to paste. And there it is. Now we're ready to make it. So I'm going to click on Make, on Matte and Confirm. Here is where you would mirror your design for sublimation, but I won't be clicking mirror on this screen because I have a preset in my sublimation printer settings. However, I will click mirror here for my infusible ink sheet and then continue. I'm going to start with my sublimation print, so I want to click Send to Printer. Turn off the bleed, turn on system dialog and print. And then here I'm going to select my sublimation printer, which is the Epson, come to presets and go to sublimation setting, which automatically mirrors my design. And then come here to paper size and click on US Legal. And then click print. For my infusible ink sheet settings, I'm going to come to Browse All Materials, type in Infusible, and then click on Infusible Ink Transfer Sheet and Done. And then I'll see you at my craft desk. I start by laying my infusible ink sheet down on my mat, then using my brayer to flatten it onto the mat. Now that the Cricut has cut out the design onto the infusible ink sheet, I'm going to flip my mat over and remove the mat from the material. Then roll the infusible ink sheet to prepare for the weeding process. With infusible ink, you want to mainly use your fingers for weeding, but I did use my weeding tool to help separate the carrier sheet from the infusible ink sheet. Even though this is sped up, I'm taking my time to prevent losing any of the pieces I want to keep. Once I removed all the negative space, I started using my pin pen because there were tiny pieces within the design that needed to be removed and my fingers could not get them out efficiently. But I made sure my pin pen only touched the parts of the design I did not want to prevent scratching the pieces I wanted to keep. My infusible ink sheet is completely weeded. Now it's time to apply the sheet to the mug. I purchased this frosted mug from Hobby Lobby. This particular mug is 11 ounces, but the smaller size Cricut mugs are 12 ounces. So you will notice my sheet is a little taller than this mug. If you purchase a mug smaller than 12 ounces, a way to prevent your sheet from being taller than the mug would be to size your design a little smaller than the template given in Design Space. Here I'm using heat-resistant tape to secure the infusible ink sheet. The mug is ready to be put into the mug press. Once the lever is pushed down, the first light will begin to blink. When the heating process is complete, all 5 lights will blink and the press will chime. I put on my heat-resistant glove to protect my hand when removing the mug from the press, then set the mug off to the side for it to cool. While the mug was cooling, I began to prep the design to sublimate onto the frosted glass. If you remember seeing in Design Space, this design was a perfect rectangle, so I could have had the Cricut cut it out, but I skipped that step and cut it myself. I've got the mug out and it's ready to be wrapped. This part of sublimation is important. You want to make sure you wrap your glass with the sublimation paper as tight as you can. Doing this will help prevent ghosting and leave you with the best results possible. I always put extra tape on my drinkware projects because I'm nervous about ghosting. But when I sublimate shirts, I try to put as little tape as possible. Here's where the hack comes in. Because the mug press was made for 12 and 15 ounce mugs, this frosted glass is too slim and too tall for this press. What I do first is put this small piece of silicone on the silver piece at the bottom of the press to protect the bottom of the glass from being scratched. Then take the medium-size silicone wrap I purchased from Amazon and place it around the glass to take up the rest of the space in the press once I close the mug press. I'm pulling the glass out, but I'm going to put it right back inside upside down because, as I mentioned before, the glass is taller than the mug press, so I have to allow time for the top of the glass to sublimate. The mug has cooled down some and it's still pretty warm, but I'm ready to see how this turned out. So I kept my gloves on while I removed the infusible ink sheet. This came out really nice. The red is very vibrant and it looks great up against this frosted mug. There is one spot here that is a little faded because the tape wasn't tight enough, but overall this glass came out really good. As you can see, I already pulled the glass out of the press. I did allow it to cool for a little while, but it is time to reveal the design on this frosted glass. I removed the parchment paper and grabbed my weeding tool to help pull the tape up. I give it a quick wipe down because sometimes there is white residue left on the cup after it sublimates. And this Merry Grinchmas glass is done and it came out great. Yes, it takes a little more time and effort when sublimating this glass in a mug press, but the results are worth it. We have our Infusible ink and Sublimation projects back in the camera. They both came out beautifully and I love them. I hope you enjoyed today's video, that you learned a little something and was inspired to create your own Infusible ink or Sublimation projects. Before you go, don't forget to click that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't, and of course, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss a video in my 12 Days of Craftmas series. Until tomorrow, later guys.